Congrats on failing. This is a truth that no one told you about. If you just failed at something, lost a job, got fired, broke up with someone, ended a relationship, got divorced, watched a business fail, bombed an exam, I want to say something to you that may sound insane. Congratulations. And I'm not saying this because failure feels good. I'm saying this because what nobody tells you, and I'm here to tell you what it actually means. Because I do understand and I do know that failing feels like garbage. So congratulations. Okay, stay with me here because I'm going to tell you why failure is actually could be one of the greatest gifts in your life. And I'm going to explain why. Here's the lie that we grew up with. Success is a straight line. Get good grades, get a job, get a family, get a boyfriend, get a wife, get a husband, and everything will work out for you. But nobody actually tells us or shows us that what real success looks like. It's not a straight line. It's like a little scribble. And a lot of people, before they become successful, they fail. Like so many times. They get fired from jobs, their business fails, their relationships fail. Their life falls apart before it ever becomes successful. And that's what happens with a lot of successful people. But we never actually see that part from celebrities, your friends, famous people, your parents, because failure doesn't look good in photos. Success does. And success is what everyone actually wants to hear, not the failure part. So we grow up and we come to understand that failure is this abnormal thing when in reality it's something that should be talked about more. It should be recognized for, and it should be congratulated for because it is an incredible achievement to overcome failure. I think one thing my mom always told me growing up is that failure isn't a sign that you're doing it wrong. It actually means you're doing it right. If you fail, you've already done so many steps that most people are scared to do. You've already achieved so much. Let's get specific here because failure is a success isn't quite specific. We need some substance. You couldn't get this information any other way. For example, success tells you that worked, whereas failure tells you that specific thing didn't work. And here's what you can learn from. This is a sharper, more useful data point that you can gather and collect information because, I mean, honestly, life is all about collecting information and using it and doing what you can with it. So if you can take the bad stuff and turn it into good stuff, it's success. Again, another interesting thing is that when you fail something, it's proof of what you can survive. I mean, think about it. Before you fail at something, you don't actually know what you're going to react or what your reaction is going to be like until it actually happens. And that's also a lot of information to collect of how you handle rejection or how you handle failure. And on top of that, once that failure does happen, there's a version of you that becomes more capable, more understanding, more compassionate, and most importantly, less afraid to fail again. I mean, what do you have to lose if you've already failed? And you can't just like make it up. You can't fast forward it. You can't buy it. You have to actually live through a failure. You have to live through the fail of an experience. And that's so powerful. You know, failing helps you discover if this is really what you want. I mean, if you fail and if your heart is still into it, then that means something. That's telling you something that you really need to know. You need to keep going forward with it. Failure is one of the fastest ways to find out what you really want and if your heart is completely into it. That's so cool. Failure isn't necessarily the opposite of success. It's just part of the process. Okay, here's the part that I left out in this inspirational message. Failure doesn't automatically make you better. It doesn't automatically make you know these 3 things that I just told you. It's not a magic ingredient. I mean, tons of people, they fail and they become mad or upset. They become bitter. So let's be honest here, because learn from your mistakes isn't a message that we want to hear at 11 p.m. when we're replaying our thoughts of why we failed or replaying a conversation that was bad. It just doesn't work. So here are some things you can do because we need to overcome failure once it happens. This one I actually do quite often, even when just feeling sad, and it's I set a deadline. You can literally set a deadline in your brain, maybe on a calendar of, you know what, this weekend, I'm going to think about why I failed, or this weekend I'm going to feel sad about why I failed, or I'm going to be sad for 5 minutes today, 5 minutes tomorrow. And that way you give yourself a deadline and you know when you're going to be able to move forward. Moving forward, even if it's really slow. Another thing you could do is write down what actually happened and not the story that you keep telling yourself and replaying in your head over and over again. Because those are usually two different things. For example, I failed because I'm not cut out for this is different from I underestimated the timeline and didn't ask for help when I should have. Those are two completely different things. Okay, my last little helpful advice here is from your failure, what is one thing that you actually did right? Like that was a success, whether it was you wrote your SEO well, or you did 2 good hashtags, or you said I love you in the relationship, or I don't know, anything like this, anything so small but that was actually a success. Write it down, and that list can be 5 things, it could be 10 things, it could be 3 things, it could be just one thing. But that one thing is something that you can take onto your next project, your next relationship, and you can improve and you can get better every single time. This is the difference between people who succeed and move forward and people who continue to stay in their misery and spiral. It's not talent, it's human nature, and it's a process. I don't talk about my dad often, but one thing that has stuck with me for a long time is I remember him telling me that people who can deal with failure are the ones who are going to become more successful than the ones who spiral and cry and become upset about failure so easily, because you will have so many failures, you will have so many fails in life. And if you can master the skill of overcoming it, if you can create some sort of outlet for yourself, you can become as successful as you want to be. And your relationship with failure will determine so much in your life. Success happens occasionally, and failure is just, it's a consistent and constant thing that will happen. If you're afraid of it, if you avoid it, if you run away from it, you'll miss out on so much in life, and you'll miss out on incredible opportunities that you didn't even think were possible for you. So if you can make peace with failure, not actually like say the words like, oh, I'm going to make peace with failure. No. But like you really accept it. Like you see it, you recognize it, you accept it, you learn from it, you grow from it. You start taking the shot that you wouldn't have made before. You start doing and building the thing that you are so scared about doing, not because you stopped caring per se, but because failure seemed so scary before and now it doesn't, and that can change everything. You've already done the math here, okay? Even the worst case is survivable. You can survive the worst possible thing. And what you'll get out of it is that you'll have more information than before. And that's incredible. So if right now, if today, if last week, if last month per se, if something didn't work out in this past month, in this past week, in this past day, in this past hour, you're not behind. You're not broken. You're just at the part of the story, of your story, that just doesn't look good in a photo. And that's all that is. You're at the part that nobody's really going to post about. And maybe that's something that you could even do. I mean, you could take this failure as, wait, nobody's talking about this, and I'm going to talk about it because failure isn't failing, it's a success. It's part of the process. Everyone who's ever built anything successful has really gone through a big failure. You're not alone. So, congrats on failing. It means that you tried something that mattered to you so much. Now, go do the boring thing. Write down your thoughts. write down what actually happened, give yourself a deadline to be sad about this, and then continue on. Move along. Like, this is just one small percentage part in your life that you'll look back on and laugh about in a few years. You got this. I believe in you. If you like this video, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment on what made you smile today. Whether that was getting a coffee from Starbucks or a croissant in Paris. Let me know. Bye, guys.